बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम।
शुरू अल्लाह का नाम लेकर जो बड़ा मेहरबान निहायत रहम वाला है।
इन्ना अअतैनाकल कौसर,
ए नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, हमने तुमको कौसर यानी बहुत ज्यादा भलाई अता फरमाई है।
फसल्लि लिरब्बिक वन्हर,
तो अपने परवरदिगार के लिए नमाज पढ़ा करो और कुर्बानी किया करो।
इन्न शानिअक हुवल अबतर,
कुछ शक नहीं कि तुम्हारा दुश्मन ही बेनाम रहेगा।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Ambassador Tariq Fatmi, Special Assistant to Prime Minister, Chief Guest of today's event. His Excellency Ambassador Khalil Hashmi, Ambassador of Pakistan to China. Mr. Shi Yuanqing, Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of the Republic of China in Pakistan. Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman, Board of Governors. Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Director General, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning. On behalf of Institute of Strategic Studies, I welcome all the honorable guests on the inauguration of China Corner at the Institute. The establishment of China Corner at the Institute's library represents a significant step towards fostering a deeper understanding of China, its development vision, and prosperity-driven initiatives. The resources at China Corner will serve as beacon for scholars, policymakers, and students who wish to carry out research on China's transformative journey to where it is today. China Corner will provide comprehensive access to information and resources about China's governance model, economic policies, and diplomacy. It will include literature on key initiatives such as Belt and Road Initiative, Global Development Initiative, Global Security Initiative, and Global Civilization Initiative, which has redefined global connectivity and cooperation, as well as China's efforts to promote shared prosperity and sustainable development. By offering a collection of books, journals, reports, and digital sources, China Corner will serve as a platform for collaboration between Pakistani and Chinese scholars, paving the way for research endeavors and exchange of ideas aimed at understanding China, Chinese culture, history, and policy-related debate. China Corner at the Institute, therefore, will be more than just a repository of books. It will be a resource for fostering knowledge, dialogue, and collaboration. With this brief intro, ladies and gentlemen, I would invite Director General ISSI, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, for his welcome remarks. Sir, you have the floor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Dr. Talat. Honorable Ambassador Sayyid Tariq Fatmi, Special Assistant to the Prime Minister, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman BOG ISSI. Ambassador Khalil Hashmi, Ambassador of Pakistan to China. Mr. Shi Yuanqing, DCM at the Chinese Embassy in Islamabad. Distinguished participants, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. It is a great privilege indeed to welcome everyone to the Institute of Strategic Studies for the inauguration of the China Corner. This is another landmark occasion in the Institute's history as it becomes the first think tank in Pakistan to host such a corner. We are grateful for the participation of Ambassador Khalil Hashmi and DCM Shi Yuanqing as guests of honors in this ceremony. Their tireless work to promote Pakistan-China relations in myriad fields is deeply appreciated. It is an honor to have Ambassador Sayyid Tariq Fatmi as the chief guest. In his long and illustrious career, Ambassador Fatmi has made an invaluable contribution to the growth and expansion of Pakistan-China relations. Our debt of gratitude to him continues to grow as he keeps adding to this contribution every day in his present capacity. Distinguished participants, the ISSI has had a long-standing China focus and is home to the China-Pakistan Study Center, the CPSC, dedicated to work on all facets of Pakistan-China relations, as well as China's foreign policy, major global initiatives, and diplomatic engagement with the world. The ISSI also has formal institutional relationships with a number of prominent Chinese think tanks, universities, and area study centers. The ISSI and KICR are officially designated counterparts within the framework of the Pakistan-China Think Tank Forum under the purview of the JCC's Joint Working Group on International Cooperation. The ISSI leadership and members of its research faculty regularly participate in international conferences, seminars, and dialogue forums organized by the counterpart Chinese institutions. For the ISSI, it is an immense privilege to play a lead role in the dialogue between the research and think tank communities of the two countries. The Pakistan-China relationship, as we know, is unique in interstate relations, based as it is on mutual respect, mutual trust, and mutual support on all issues of each other's core interest. Since the founding of the People's Republic in 1949, the relationship has followed a steady progression and has now evolved into an all-weather strategic cooperative partnership. Today, it is an indispensable factor of stability in the region and beyond. Bilaterally, it encompasses diplomatic, political, economic, security, defense, technological, educational, cultural, and people-to-people domains. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, a flagship project of the Belt and Road Initiative, powerfully manifests the commitment of the leadership on both sides to foster transformational economic development and regional connectivity. In sum, the Pakistan-China partnership has been nurtured by successive generations in our two nations, notwithstanding any momentary challenges or the vicissitudes of times. It will continue to grow in the years to come. The idea of establishing the China Corner at the ISSI Library was conceived earlier this year to provide scholars and researchers a dedicated space as well as essential resources and technical support to carry out comprehensive research on China and Pakistan-China relations. To this effect, the CPSC and ISSI library teams worked together to collect more than 600 physical and 5,000 electronic books, journals, newspapers, and monographs related to China studies. These materials include archival sources, primary texts of China's paramount leaders, including President Xi Jinping, and secondary sources like books from notable Chinese, Pakistani, and Western scholars. We hope that the researchers and students will make optimal use of these resources and delineate a research-based path for an informed Pakistan-China community with a shared future. Distinguished participants, it should be recognized that the China Corner is not merely a repository of knowledge, but a space that symbolizes the abiding friendship between our two peoples. It underscores our commitment to fostering a deeper understanding of China's history, culture, policies, and its pivotal role in global and regional affairs. Furthermore, it signifies our resolve to promote academic and cultural exchanges that can enrich the people-to-people ties underpinning Pakistan-China relations. The China Corner aims to serve as a bridge for intellectual discourse, where practitioners, scholars, researchers, and students can engage in meaningful dialogue informed by a wealth of resources and insights. Besides the ISSI colleagues, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have contributed to the establishment of the China Corner. In this context, our special thanks are due to Ambassador Khalil Hashmi and the Chinese Embassy in Islamabad for materially contributing to it with a significant number of books. The corner will remain a work in progress, and the Institute would welcome any further resources that the two esteemed embassies might wish to make in future. Let me conclude by expressing my sincere appreciation to our guests of honor, the chief guest, and the distinguished participants for gracing this occasion. Your presence here today affirms the strong bonds between our nations and the shared commitment to furthering our long-standing fraternal ties. Let us work together to ensure that this pivotal partnership continues to grow to the mutual benefit of our two countries and peoples. I thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your welcome remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Ambassador Khalil Hashmi for his remarks. Ambassador Khalil Hashmi is Pakistan's ambassador to China, and he's fostering robust bilateral ties and advancing strategic partnership between Pakistan and China. A seasoned diplomat who is recognized for his expertise in multilateral diplomacy and international negotiations. Ambassador Khalil Hashmi.
Thank you very much. Ambassador Tariq Fatmi, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs and Special Assistant to the Prime Minister, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Mr. Shi Yongqing, the DCM of the Embassy, distinguished participants, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Much of what I had planned to say has been covered already by Ambassador Sohail Mahmood. I think he spoke about the rationale and why is the salience of the China corner, also the salience of Pakistan-China relations, its evolution and its importance. So bear with me, there would be of course a lot of reaffirmation of what he said, and this is in the nature of Pakistan-China friendship. We speak, sometimes it seems like there is a repetition, but I think our relationship is such that needs these reiterations and reaffirmations. So with that, I would say that it's a great privilege for me to be at this inauguration ceremony of the China Corner. I join others in commending the Institute for this initiative that reflects the depth and vitality of Pakistan-China relations. And as has been said, this is going to be more than a room filled with books and resources. I think, and I'm confident that it would be a space to honor a friendship that has transcended the traditional construct of interstate relations and has gained strength with every passing year. The Pakistan-China friendship is often described in poetic metaphors like higher than the mountains, deeper than the oceans, and sweeter than honey. After having spent 1 year, I have served in China before, I can say with a high degree of confidence that these are not just words. Pakistan-China friendship is a reality built on, as Ambassador Sohail Mahmood said, and I tend to call it TSR, and that's the mutual trust, mutual support, and mutual respect. These are the foundational principles of our relationship. Over the years, this relationship has expanded from political and diplomatic relations to economic domain, people-to-people ties, and much more. And as Ambassador Sohail again said, that this is one of the most comprehensive and unique relationships in the world. And the establishment of this corner is a testament to the vision that is held by the Institute, and I would say held by our leadership as well, to foster even greater understanding and greater friendship between our two people, between our two nations, and between various facets of our two societies. And as has been said, again, it is going to be a space, a dedicated space for knowledge, dialogue, and collaboration. This initiative also, I think, speaks to the salience of the Institute of Strategic Studies as Pakistan's premier think tank, which has for decades been at the forefront of strategic thinking, offering informed perspectives, and facilitating meaningful discourse. The China Corner is also not just about studying China's remarkable rise and its role on the global stage. It's about discovering synergies, building bridges, and exploring ways to grow and work together. As Pakistan-China relations enter a new phase, intellectual and cultural exchanges like these are more important than ever. This corner will help our scholars, policymakers, and students to deepen their understanding of China's history, governance, philosophy, and vision for the future. And I would take this opportunity. I think this corner comes at a very important juncture with President Xi Jinping having presented a number of concepts and a number of new elements of his vision. For instance, the new quality productive forces. There's a lot of focus on innovation, modernization. So I think with this corner, we would be happy to, as Ambassador Sohail said, contribute with more literature, more books, and more written and digital material that becomes available to the Institute. Today, the China-Pakistan partnership stands at an important juncture. The CPAC is more than just a collection of infrastructure projects. It is a blueprint for regional connectivity, economic growth, and shared prosperity. But our relationship extends far beyond the tangible. It is rooted in shared values and a collective desire to create a better future for our peoples. And I think the China Corner embodies this spirit, serving as a hub for dialogue and collaboration. As we celebrate this moment, I want to highlight another important aspect of this relationship, and that is the people. While CPEC drives our economic ties, initiatives like this corner help build intellectual and cultural connections. These elements are equally critical for ensuring the longevity and vibrancy of our Iron Brotherhood. So this tiny corner holds immense potential. It is a space where ideas will flourish. It is a space where the future of our bilateral relationship will also be supported. I encourage all of you, students, scholars, researchers, policymakers, and practitioners to make full use of this platform. Let it inspire new conversations, fresh ideas, and innovative approaches to strengthening our ties with China. I also commend ISSI for consistently delivering initiatives that matter. Your role in advancing Pakistan's strategic partnerships and fostering intellectual growth is hard to be overemphasized. The China Center is another feather in your cap, and I am confident that it will serve as a catalyst for deepening our relationship with China. Finally, let me say this: the Pakistan-China relationship is a model of what is possible when nations come together in trust and mutual respect. Let this China Corner stand as a symbol of that partnership and a reminder that our bond is not only strong, it is enduring, it is dynamic, and full of promise for the future. Thank you. Sheshe.
Thank you, Ambassador Khalil Hashmi. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Mr. Shi Yuancheng for his remarks. Mr. Shi is the Deputy Chief of Mission at Chinese Embassy in Pakistan, a seasoned diplomat who has a important role in strengthening Pakistan-China relations through collaboration and people-to-people exchanges. You have the floor, please.
His Excellency Ambassador Saeed Tariq Fatami, Special Assistant to Prime Minister, His Excellency Ambassador Khalid Hashmi, Ambassador of Pakistan to China, His Excellency Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman, BOG of ISSI, His Excellency Ambassador Sahil Mahmood, Director General of SSI, Mr. Talat Shabir, Director of China-Pakistan Center of ISSI. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends. It is my great pleasure to attend the inauguration of China Corner at ISSI. As Ambassador Jiang Zaidong is supposed to be here this morning, but he has another engagement, so I'm very delighted and interested to attend this very important inauguration. First of all, I would like to thank Ambassador Mahmood for your thoughtful arrangements and thank all the friends present for caring about China's development and actively promoting China-Pakistan cooperation. The friendship between countries lies in the friendship between peoples, and the friendship between peoples lies in the mutual understanding. As Pakistan's leading think tank, ISSI has made outstanding contributions to promoting mutual understanding and exchanges between China and Pakistan. The China-Pakistan Study Center actively organizes various China-related activities, providing an important platform for Pakistani people to understand China. Chinese embassy has been cooperating with ISI to set up the China Corner and donated a batch of books and CDs introducing China. We would like to especially thank ISSI and China-Pakistan Study Center for your long-time contribution and also the dedication and hard working for setting up the China Corner. We hope that China Corner will be a new window for Pakistani people to learn about China and will be a new bridge of communication and exchanges between our two peoples. So today, I would like to also take this opportunity to talk about a few ideas about understanding China and China-Pakistan relations. First, how to understand China. Under the leadership of President Xi Jinping, the Chinese people have worked together to create two miracles of rapid economic development and long-term social stability, benefiting the world and promoting the building of a community with a shared future for mankind. We maintain our position as the world's second largest economy, and our average contribution to world economic growth has exceeded 30% for 10 consecutive years. We have won the battle against poverty, lifted nearly 100 million rural poor people out of poverty, and contributed more than 70% of the world's poverty reduction. We have promoted the joint construction of the Belt and Road and have launched more than 3,000 cooperation projects, attracting nearly $1 trillion in investment. At present, we are implementing the spirit of the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee, further deepening reform in an all-around way and promoting Chinese modernization. In this process, we are ready to provide new opportunities for the world with the new development of Chinese modernization, and first benefit our iron brother, Pakistan. Secondly, about China-Pakistan relations. China and Pakistan are all-weather strategic partners and iron friends. The friendship between the two countries has withstood the test of time and is as solid as rock and as stable as mountain Tai. That's a very famous mountain in East China. It is mainly reflected in the following aspects. First, the political foundation of our relations is extremely solid. Since the beginning of this year, President Xi Jinping has maintained close communication with President Zardari and Prime Minister Shahbaz and reached important consensus in a broad range of issues. In October this year, during his visit to Pakistan, Premier Li Qiang had an in-depth exchange of views with Pakistani leaders on deepening all-around practical cooperation and building an upgraded version of the CPEC. We are ready to work with Pakistan to implement the consensus well and accelerate the building of a closer China-Pakistan community with a shared future in the new era. Second, the economic foundation of our relations is also very solid. The CPEC has played an irreplaceable role in promoting Pakistan's economic and social development and regional integration, and has become an important game changer. Just recently, the Honjla Pass has been operated all year round. The units of the SK hydropower station have been connected to the grid for power generation. The new Gwadar International Airport has been successfully completed, and 20,000 sets of health kits for students in Balochistan have been distributed. China and Pakistan have complementary economic structure and huge development potential. The construction of the upgraded version of the CPEC has broad prospects and will bring more benefits and opportunities to the two countries and the two peoples. Third, the people-to-people foundation of our bilateral relations is particularly profound. All of you here are friendly envoys carrying forward the friendship between China and Pakistan. It is you who make the tree of China-Pakistan friendship grow stronger and taller. We are ready to work with Pakistan to open more China corners in Pakistan, further enhance people-to-people exchange, cooperation, and strengthen our people-to-people exchanges with Pakistan, carry forward the special friendship, and consolidate the foundation of our bilateral relations. I wish peace and prosperity to China and Pakistan, and everlasting friendship between China and Pakistan. I wish all the guests good health and all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shi, for your remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I would now request Ambassador Tariq Fatmi for his address. Ambassador Tariq Fatmi is the Special Assistant to the Prime Minister of Pakistan, a distinguished diplomat. Ambassador Fatmi is known for his deep understanding of international affairs and has played a pivotal role in shaping Pakistan's foreign policy. Ambassador Tariq Fatmi, please.
Thank you very much. Ambassador Suhail Mahmood, Director General, my senior colleague Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, who's the chairman, my friend, the Chinese DCM, and Ambassador Khalil Hashmi, who, to our good fortune, is here on an official visit and can therefore grace this occasion and share with all of you his understanding of Pakistan-China relations. Much has already been stated, and all of you here, I'm sure, are scholars of China, and you understand the significance and importance of Pakistan-China relations. There is something very fascinating about Pakistan-China relations, and it has continued to create all kinds of doubts and suspicions in the minds of scholars in other parts of the world. There is so much that brings about a lack of understanding as to what exactly brings China and Pakistan together. First of all, I would say that the very history of our relations reveals the fact that notwithstanding huge differences between the peoples of the two countries, between the political philosophies of the two countries, and so much more, and yet what puzzles a lot of people, especially in the Western world, is why are China and Pakistan such close friends? I have had the good fortune of visiting China, and I did not do so by either the Chinese airlines or the Pakistani airlines. I traveled from Moscow to Beijing some 50 plus years ago by the Grand Siberian Railway line, which took me a mere 6 days and 6 nights. And during that period, my Chinese friends in the Beijing embassy in Moscow had advised me that in addition to carrying large amounts of canned food, which I would need over the 6 days, I should also carry with me a large number of books on Chinese history, Chinese philosophy, and more importantly, the great legendary books about China that are thousands of years old, including, if my memory is still there, Dream of Red Mansions, Journey to the West, and so on. That gave me a window into understanding the Chinese mind, the Chinese psyche. But I want to tell you also, the young people here, that not all Pakistani leaders were as inept as you now accuse them of being. As far back as 1954, the Pakistani Prime Minister was visiting Bandung for a conference of the non-aligned countries. And there he did something which was totally unexpected. He reached out to Premier Zhou Enlai, not merely to introduce himself, but to assure the Chinese Prime Minister that notwithstanding the reasons why we had joined the Western Alliance, but the fact remained that we had the best of intentions as regards our northern neighbor, that is China. And assuring the Chinese Prime Minister, the legendary Zhou Enlai, that Pakistan would never ever engage in any activity that harms or hurts China. I'm sharing this because it's very important for the younger people to know that this is not a recent phenomenon. China and Pakistan have had relations that go back to our very foundations. We were amongst the first to recognize China. We were amongst the first to lobby for China's admission into the United Nations. Our ambassadors and our ministers would go around capital to capital telling them that the United Nations cannot be a global organization without China sitting in it. Chairman Mao and Zhou Enlai, they are legendary figures. The steps that they took are known to many of us. But I want to tell you that President Xi Jinping represents the collective wisdom, not merely of those who are his colleagues at this present time, but those who had preceded him. and China respects and honors all its leaders, unlike us. And therefore the Chinese leaders' decision-making process is a process in which the collective intelligence, acumen and wisdom of the leaders are pooled in, and from that emerges the decision. And therefore the decisions are always to the advantage not merely of China but of the entire region. I also want to share with you that I was very fortunate. I was in Beijing when the first agreement relating to cooperation in nuclear energy was finalized. And again I was very fortunate when the Prime Minister of that time responded to the invitation from the Chinese leaders, and within a few days of coming into power in 2013, he decided to send some of his officials to China, and I was fortunate to be in it, where we first learned of what today is this global initiative, which is known as the BRI. The BRI has spread all over the world, far away from China, into the dark interior of Africa, and into the distant waters of the Caribbean and Latin America. And the first element, the first chapter of BRI is CPEC. How fortunate is Pakistan that China should have chosen Pakistan to be the first country to be offered the first opening symphony of the grand orchestra that is known as BRI. We should be thankful to the Chinese leadership and thankful to the Almighty that He has given the wisdom to the leaders of the two countries to recognize that cooperation between them is not merely good for the two countries, it is good for peace and stability of the entire region. And my friend, the Deputy Chief of Mission, has pointed out, and others as well, higher than the highest mountains and so on. It may be a linguistic exaggeration, but the truth is that the Chinese have always stood by us, and so have we stood by China, much to the annoyance of other countries. That is a reality, and it shall continue to be a reality. Only earlier this year, the Pakistani Prime Minister had gone on an official invitation to Beijing, and the Chinese leaders have reaffirmed that not only will CPEC continue to bring us together in industry, energy, power, education and so on, but that this will be further expanded and enlarged. Then a few months ago on the sidelines of the SCO, you would remember that Premier Li Qiang was here, and the two sides have agreed on the new, the advanced CPEC programs. And finally, I want to tell you, I'm convinced that irrespective of the leaderships that come to China or Pakistan, this friendship will continue to prosper and grow. Why? Because it is in the interest of the peoples of the two countries. It is in the interest of the maintenance of peace and security in South and Southeast Asia and the Gulf and Central Asia. And finally, because this relationship is based on honesty and complete trust, that has signified the relationship between the two countries. I want to congratulate my colleague for this initiative of the China Corner. The Holy Prophet of Islam had said 1400 years ago, advised the Muslims to travel to China looking for wisdom and learning. My colleague is providing that possibility to all of you staying in Islamabad and taking advantage of this wonderful collection of books and other things that you will be presenting to the scholars in Islamabad. I wish you and all the others the very best. May Allah Almighty keep you all in His safety and grace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your address. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of this brief event. Before formal inauguration of China Corner at ISI Library, I would request Ambassador Khalid Mahmood, Chairman, Board of Governors, to present ISI mementos to the Chief Guest and the Guest of Honors.